Hey guys, welcome to the second video of the day. We're going to talk about status alterations in the game and how they affect the flow of battle. So without further ado, let's jump right in. I think the best way to start is by breaking down the different kinds of status alterations, because there are quite a few, and understanding what each one does will make battles a lot easier to plan around. First, we have the main status effects. Crystallization is when a Digimon crystallizes and becomes unable to use skills. The effect wears off automatically after a few turns, but you can cure it right away using items or skills. Sleep is exactly what it sounds like. The Digimon can't act at all while asleep. It usually wakes up on its own after a few turns, but it'll also wake up if it gets hit, or if you use an item or skill to snap it out of it. Deep slumber is like a stronger version of sleep. A Digimon affected by deep slumber won't move at all, and it won't wake up on its own. The only way to get them out of it is to hit them or use an item or a skill. Paralysis is a bit different. A paralyzed Digimon might still be able to act, but it has a chance to lose its turn entirely. The effect goes away after a few turns, or you can clear it immediately with an item or skill. Confusion is also pretty disruptive. When a Digimon is confused, there's a chance it just won't do anything during its turn. This one also clears up on its own after a few turns, or with an item or skill. Chaos is another form of control. A Digimon in Chaos can't act at all until the effect wears off, it gets hit, or you cure it with an item or skill. Poison is straightforward. A poisoned Digimon takes damage at the end of each turn, equal to 6% of its max health. You can cure it right away with the usual items or skills. Deadly poison is like a supercharged version of poison. Instead of 6%, it shreds 12% of a Digimon's max health every turn, which makes it much more dangerous if you can land it on an enemy. Immobilization locks a Digimon in place so it can't act on its turn. Like paralysis, it clears up on its own eventually, or you can cure it early. Those are the basic status effects. Now there's a second category called status changes, and these are a little different. Strong is a special buff that some tough enemies use. You'll know when a Digimon has it because you'll see colored icons on its stats. The important thing to know about Strong is that it doesn't wear off with time. The only way to get rid of it is to hit it with a charge break. Guts is pretty interesting. It works a lot like the Sturdy ability from Pokemon. A Digimon with Guts will survive with 1 HP no matter how much damage it takes from an attack that would normally knock it out. This can be a lifesaver in certain fights. Diseased is a nasty one. It prevents a Digimon from recovering SP for a few turns, which can completely shut down skill-heavy builds. Injured works the same way, but it blocks HP recovery instead. Both of these can be cleared early with an item or a healing skill. Reverse is one of the most unique status changes. It flips your elemental strengths and weaknesses. If you were weak to fire, you'll resist it instead, and your resistances become weaknesses. It lasts for the whole battle, which could make for some clever strategies. Taunting is another one you'll see. When a Digimon is taunting, it forces enemies to target only that Digimon for attacks. The catch is that it only lasts one round, so you have to refresh it every turn if you want to keep it up. Here's something important to remember. You can't stack multiple effects of the same type. A Digimon can only have one status effect and one status change at the same time, but you can mix one of each. For example, you could inflict an enemy with deadly poison, so it takes 12% of its max health in damage every turn, and also hit it with injured so it can't heal any of that damage back. Combining them like that can be really strong. A lot of the status effects also have stronger upgraded versions. For example, sleep versus deep slumber, or poison versus deadly poison. Usually the upgraded versions either completely immobilize the enemy, or do a lot more damage. But most of them wear off if the Digimon gets hit, or after a few turns. These can be great for controlling the battlefield, especially when you're up against groups of enemies. You can lock down most of the team, and focus on picking off one target at a time. The downside is that if you're using wide area skills, you might accidentally hit and wake up the enemies you were trying to disable. so you'll want to use more single target moves for that playstyle. In my opinion, Deadly Poison is probably the strongest status effect in the game right now just because that 12% damage every turn really adds up against bulky opponents. Crystallization is a little weird since the Digimon that was crystallized actually heals after the effect ends, which feels counterintuitive. So I'll probably avoid using that one unless I find a specific strategy for it. Taunting, like I mentioned earlier, is a bit disappointing because it only lasts one turn, and I haven't found a way to extend it with skills like Booing or Hustle Cry. That makes it hard to justify using since you're basically giving up a turn every time just to reapply it. Reverse, on the other hand, seems really promising since flipping your strengths and weaknesses can completely change a matchup. I want to experiment with it more to see how much of a difference it makes in tougher fights. Guts is also situational, but could be clutch in the right scenario, saving a Digimon from being knocked out so it can get a final move off or be healed before it's hit again. Overall, I think it's really important to get familiar with all of these. A lot of them might feel similar at first, but the little differences can be the key to winning certain battles. The ones I think are worth paying the most attention to are Poison, Deadly Poison, Taunting, Injured, Chaos, and Deep Slumber. Those all have a big impact on how you can control fights. I also know there are certain Digimon that actually get bonus damage when they attack enemies that are affected by status effects. So once the full game releases, I'll definitely test out which status combos pair best with them and make a guide for that. That wraps up my overview of status-altering effects. The main thing to remember is that each Digimon can only be hit with one status effect and one status change at the same time. So if you want to maximize them in battle, you'll need to plan your team and your skills around that limitation. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. If you're planning on building your own status effect team like I am, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear about your ideas and talk through team comps with you. You're also welcome to join the Discord. The link will be in the description. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.